Do I have any paint on my brush? Hold up. So we've done quite a few steps to get the skin to this point, but I'm actually very happy with how it looks right now. I saw a really cool diorama with this model. Basically, as he wandered through the forest, the plants behind him died. Oh, snap. You think you can find that low primer? I haven't seen that one. That sounds like something I would love to see. Now, I don't know if we're going to have to do that many layers, by the way, on this tiny little part of the flesh, because I will have to relayer some of the eyeball anyways. Like, that eyeball obviously is going to have to be colored. I'm going to have to paint that differently. Yeah, if you can find that, that would be sick, man. I would love to see that. What's going on, Mr. Thord? How are you doing today? Are you ready to go back to the office? I like the depth. I always use a lot of washes when painting. Haven't in years though. I really do like washes quite a bit too, yeah. There's some Warhammer elitists out there that kind of frown on people using washes and glazes like that, but to me it kind of feels like people that say, oh, if you don't play StarCraft 2 with default hotkeys, you're not a real gamer. You know what I mean? Like, there's this weird elitism that I notice sometimes in basically anything, really. You can notice this with quite literally any hobby, any interest. There's always gatekeepers, yeah. It is very common. I'm of the opinion with these sort of things that you should just use whatever you want, right? In order to achieve what you're trying to go for, especially with anything creative. If you're looking for a certain effect and you can get it, quote unquote, easier by using a product, why the fuck wouldn't you, right? Now, the reason why some people don't love, for example, dry brushing, which is what I'm doing right now, or for example, washes, is because technically you don't have as much control over the paint. So there is like a little bit of, there's a bit of a downside there because it's designed to run into recesses, right? And because it's runny, you can't control it quite as well. But I consider that an advantage. Like, you kind of let gravity work in your favor. But yeah, some people are, you know, very specific about those sort of things. Because ultimately, at least it depends, right? So it depends on what you're trying to do. Is my refrigerator running? What? Is there noise in the background? No. Cheating is very different. I think hobby cheating is fine. As in, like, you use whatever tool you need. Cheating in a competitive situation is very different. You bought a dry brush yesterday and then you realize you don't know what to do with it? Dude, there's an amazing video from Artis Opus. Artis Opus makes their own dry brushes. I find them very expensive. I wouldn't buy those, but he's got a guide on dry brushing. And it is basically perfect. Here, I'll link it in the chat. This guy does a very good job. There you go. That is a link to a video called Complete Guide by Artis Opus on dry brushing. It's a half hour long, but it's about as good as it needs to be. Wait, what is with the refrigerator? I don't understand the refrigerator joke. What? Is your refrigerator running? You better go catch it? What? Am I dumb? I don't understand. I'm trying to make sense of this. It's running like sprinting? Catch it, Lowko. What? What are you guys talking about? It's running. Okay, maybe it's a reference to something. I say a lot of words, guys. I may have already forgotten what the word was. What did I say? Maybe it's an it's getting. What are you guys talking about right now? The refrigerator running can both be enabled and running away. How did we get to refrigerators? I feel like I've had like a complete brain fart here. There's like 10 minutes of conversation that I've missed. What's with the refrigerator? Yeah, we just low palm it out. Here. There you go. I will low palm with you. The joke is you ask someone, is your refrigerator running? And your reply is yes, and then they say, well, you better go catch it. That's the joke? That was the entire joke? Oh, it's dumber than I realized. Oh, sorry. I thought that was, okay. Yeah, no, that's... This sounds like an elementary school joke. In the Netherlands, there was this joke that all the kids played, and I still don't quite get it. So here's how it goes, okay? You would ask another kid, ben je bang voor je vader en moeder? Which would be like, are you scared of your mom and dad? At which point you clap in their face, they would blink, and then they would say, ah, yes, so you're scared. What? Why is that? I still don't get it. It's been 30 years. I still don't get the joke. Yeah, it's a being kids joke, I guess. But this was other kids making the joke to other kids, and apparently this is still ongoing. This is like a generational trend. Apparently kids still do it. Yeah. If you flinch, apparently it means you're scared of getting punched. What the fuck? Why do kids make it such a weird joke? Very common joke though. And apparently it's still, yeah, it's, okay. We can file that under the refrigerator category. If you blink, call social services joke. Yeah, it's so weird. Oh, well. That's a thing as well in Denmark. You also have that joke in Romania? Ay, 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 ay. What's up, Sleepy? Are you late? A Twitch chatter is never late, Sleepy Tato. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. It's funny how that is an international joke and something that you apparently have in other countries too. You missed a refrigerator joke. That's gotta be one of the greatest. An oldie but goodie. We're gonna continue doing some browns. I'm gonna do browns all around the miniature. We gotta do all the leathery parts and all of the ropes. I don't want to accidentally fuck up my my horse flesh though, if I can at all avoid it. So we gotta be a little bit careful. But as long as we go slow, it should be okay. Has anyone seen my fucking refrigerators, man? Refrigerators are kind of OP. You guys realize how overpowered refrigerators are? You know how life would be without refrigeration? When did Lowko become Bob Ross? I am growing out my hair at the moment. Maybe one day I can be like Bob. Although I've got a haircut scheduled for next week. Yeah, every household electronic is kind of OP. I agree. For my birthday last year, I got a milk frother, which froths milk. It just basically, like, you pour cold milk in, and then it creates perfectly frothed milk that's, like, you know, at a correct temperature and stuff for, like, tea and coffee and stuff. It's something I never had in my life before, and now I've been using it every day ever since, and it's awesome. Highly recommend an electric milk frother. No! I got it some on the horse. On the flesh, that is. I sounded like Cartwright there from the co-op mission. No! The research vessel. What milk? Just, you know, any milk, I guess. I have good old cow's milk personally, but is that a cancelable offense? Frother, like it like makes little bubbles. It like shakes up the milk. Yeah, it's like aerated. It's great for like tea and coffee and stuff. But it's kind of funny, you know? Because it's one of those things that people lift, believe it or not, guys, did you know that before, for the vast majority, right, of human existence, people didn't have refrigerators? Imagine that. For a very long time, the ancient Egyptians, no refrigerator. Huh? Cavemen? No refrigeration at all. They would just occasionally eat something bad, and then, yeah, they would maybe die from infection. Kind of sucks, man. Egyptians had no air conditioning? I don't think they did. No, I don't think so. Maybe. Because I've been to Egypt now, a couple years ago, and they did have AC. So I'm not, maybe they had it in ancient Egypt too. We will never know. Covering up my little mistake here. There you go. Yeah, they did have some cool solutions to keep stuff cool. Like they built homes and stuff in specific ways. With like specific roof architecture. It was actually kind of cool. What's going on, Dita Hunter? I don't know what music we're listening to. This kind of sounds like a 90s infomercial, but wait, there's more. If you subscribe to my stream now, not only do you get a discount because of September, you can also spend more money. Don't let this offer pass up. Welcome to the Lowko television segment. I think I need to lower the brightness of my camera just a tad. There you go. Sometimes I think it's a little too much. Sell it to me, Lowko. You're already subscribed, also. You forget. Did I intentionally put the light tone on the mains? Yes. I purposely am doing like a greenish to a brownish tone over there. So that is an intentional thing. It was a little too green for my liking. So I dirtied it up a bunch yesterday. We tried to make it a little bit more grimy because it was a little too lime colored for me and I didn't really like that part. It looks a bit undefined where it meets the skin. What do you mean? Like which segment? I mean, we're like the skin is, we're gonna have to add a lot of bruising and stuff. Like the skin color has bled up. Yeah, so this is supposed to be an undead horse. So the skin is, it's gonna be more bloody and rough. This is just the base tone of the skin. So this is gonna be the base layer. Like you can see a lot of little dots and pieces. There's like maggots and little bruises all over it. I don't know if it's obvious, but there's a lot of nasty stuff going on the skin that we will have to paint in. But that's gonna be at a later stage. I'm gonna do a big layer or a bit set of base coats right now. I think I'm gonna leave the skin alone for quite a while. Unless I misunderstand what you're saying, though. It looks pretty dead to you. That's the goal. Imagine putting in hints of red-orange. Yeah, we're gonna be adding a lot of blood. A lot of like, I'm thinking like relatively, so the color I'm thinking of using for the, where is it? For the bones, or for all the bruising initially, before we wash it, is moldy wine. So it's gonna be kind of like a, it's like a bruised skin type of color. But that is, we're not gonna do that for quite a few hours. That is gonna be quite a bit later. Because I'm not a very fast painter. And I know it's gonna take me a while to do all of this. But yeah, the skin is gonna be it's gonna be changing for sure. We'll have to add maybe some blood for the blood god too. That's a paint, by the way, in case you're unfamiliar. There's a paint called Blood for the Blood God. I have it right over here. Mine is kind of separated. It's kind of weird. Like, you see how it's like this whitish stuff on top? Before we use it, I'm gonna have to shake it through because it looks very nasty right now. But anyways, Blood for the Blood God is a paint that looks exactly like blood. Which I kind of like using, it's fun. So for the robots watching my stream, blood is something that humans usually have inside of their bodies, but every once in a while it comes out. Just to make it a bit easier to understand for the robots. Okay, I think that's, oh actually no, there's one little tiny bit over here too. Main problem though is that this section over here is tiny, tiny, tiny. I think that does the trick. Yeah. There's a tiny segment right over here. There we go. This is the clubbing music. My viewers love going clubbing. I think I'm gonna paint the little leathery part over here too with the same color. There's like a little, what's this called? Stirrups? Is that what it's called in English? I don't know. I don't know what it's called in Dutch either. Anyways, the little segment. Where the rider can step into the saddle. Be stable, I guess, while riding. No! I'm getting it on my dark green! Yeah, this is gonna be kind of a big part of this miniature too, me fixing my own fuck-ups. I'll have to get some of the Castellan green again. Beugels. Buckles? Maybe that's it, I don't know, Jochem. I used to have a beugel. Different type though, different type. Buitenboord beugel? I had a buitenboord beugel when I was a kid. But I refused to use it in school. Because I figured the other kids would make fun of me, so I didn't use it. I only had it at night. Is this a word you can ever decipher as a non-native English speaker, or a non-native Dutch speaker rather? Buitenboordbeugel. That's a difficult one. I have no idea what you would even call that in English. Outer brace? Yeah, it's like a. You know when kids get braces? Yeah, it's like a retainer. Yeah, but it's a type of retainer that like goes inside of your mouth and then it like straps around your neck. Those were very popular back in the day. I don't really know if they still are. There were loads of kids that had them. Okay. I think that's pretty good. The little stirrups. Obviously the actual part is going to be metal. But we're not doing the metal yet. There's a little dangle thingy over here that I'll also do in the same color, because I quite like this color. That's good. There's also like a bunch of little pouches and stuff all over the... Do we use this for the wood? No, I think I'm going to use a darker part for the wood. Yeah. I'm assuming these are like little leather straps that are... dangling from the rider. Riders of the storm. But da 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 da. Okay. Not bad. Lowko, is it true that your house is a windmill mansion? Absolutely, yes, Galgarius. Every Dutch person lives inside of a windmill. Or a lighthouse. Because we have a lot of sea, you know, a lot of ocean, a lot of water. I am a windmill man. How'd you guess? You will need to show us your collection of minis. Anything in particular you want to see? I'm happy to show off the ones I've finished, don't get me wrong. I haven't finished that many though. Any category. Do I have wooden shoes? I don't have wooden shoes. But I do have a bicycle. Does that count? Okay. All of them? That's a little much. What's the difference between Holland and the Netherlands? Oh no. We do about a bi-yearly rewatch of a CGP Grey video called The Difference Between Holland and the Netherlands. If anybody else is curious, please let me know and we will watch the video. But it's about 8 minutes long or so. It also does a much better job than what I can explain. It is complicated, yes. Complicated is a very basic way to describe it. Long story short though, Holland is a province in the Netherlands. There's North Holland and then there's South Holland. Those are two provinces. And the country is called the Netherlands. But pretty much all of the interesting parts that most people around the world will know of is in one of those two Hollands. So like Amsterdam is in the province of North Holland, The Hague is in Holland, Rotterdam is in Holland. A lot of it comes down though to conquering the world and colonialism. So it's a little tricky. Why is the Netherlands called the Netherlands? Because I guess once upon a time it was more nether than it is right now. It used to be mostly underwater. A lot of parts over here are below sea level. Like a lot of the Dutch people live in places that are below sea level. I believe I live at like just about sea level, so not below. Is Holland safe from? So is Holland safe from floodings? So basically, over the course of Dutch history, loads of folks died. And it took a very long time, but essentially the entirety of Dutch history comes down to trying to give the middle finger to the ocean. And it seems to be successful. It seems to be done. There's a bunch of really smart engineers here. So basically the build order is to trust them and hope that they did a good job indeed. Trusting engineers. Yikes. That's like trusting guys in the chat. Bit of a yikes from me. Can you trust guys in the chat? I don't know. Like trusting guys in the chat with your life. How about that? Okay, we're gonna go for a bit of a brighter color. I've never used this color before. Ooh, it's very pinky. It's called Ruddy Umber. I've never used this color before. I actually thought it was gonna be a little bit more brown than this, but it should be okay. I wanna create a bit of contrast, specifically on the weapon hilts. Or the hilts, the handles, whatever you would call these. There's a, like a bit of cloth strapped all around it. This is also the part of the miniature that broke off when my cats were dropping it to the floor on accident. I'm blaming Toby, who's by the way in this room right now. Toby's still here with me. He's sleeping in the room. Aw, I forgot about that. He hasn't slept here in ages. Not at least while I'm streaming. That's so sweet. He used to be here every stream. Remember when he was super little and we just got him and I was playing Timberborn? He would sleep on my desk. It was the cutest thing. Little kitten sleeping on your desk while you're playing games. These days, he's a grown adult cat. Doesn't really do that anymore. But sometimes he comes and hangs out. Apparently today is one of those days. How old is he? I think Toby is 3? No, 2. Maybe 3. Are you supposed to know the age of your children? Cat, I mean? Whenever I forget what age they are, and I really want to know, it's on their Instagram page. That way I don't have to embarrass myself in front of Lauren. I can just go to their Instagram page instead. She has an Instagram page with their dates of birth. I will embarrass myself on stream, that's okay, but not in front of her, you know? That just makes sense, right? Okay. I think I should probably, what if I zoom it in more? How does this look? It's just harder for me to keep it within the frame, I guess. So there's a lot of really tiny little finicky parts. I do like the more zoomed in look more, but it's also kind of tricky. Give him 2 more years, Lowko, he will be back to sleeping either on top of you or very close. We don't actually allow him in the bedroom. Nah. Every time he's accidentally snuck in, the next day, or like even later that same day, he starts meowing in front of the door. He's like, guys, let me in. I was allowed in here earlier. It's like, no, bro, you weren't allowed in. You snuck in. It's very different. He's like, guys, I enjoyed hanging out with you in that room. Please open it right now. I don't really want to have my cats in the bedroom. Because I do think Toby would probably sleep on my head. That's where he likes to be. He likes hanging out on top of my face. Got a feeling it's kind of difficult to sleep though. For those of you that let your cats sleep in the bedroom with you, do they just let you chill? Do they just come and go? It would be super cute, but at the same time, I also kind of feel like it would be annoying. My oldest cat is about to be 16. If it was his decision, he would spend the whole day. Oh God, okay, I see. Oh no, Toby likes piling on top of each other, man. This is what he enjoys to do. He's like, oh, okay, we're cuddling. Okay, that's perfect. Let's all cuddle together at the same time. What a perfect time. What do you guys think of this color of the hilt? It will be darker, obviously. I never usually use these type of colors, but I think I'm gonna just trust the process and go with it. In my mind, it's a little too pinkish, but it is a good contrast. It's just I mean, it's always easier to shade the color down than to brighten it back up. So I will try and keep it relatively dark. Or keep it relatively bright for now, rather. But normally this is not the type of color I would go for. Yeah, it's a very orangey color. So I want it to have like a warm brown. This is a little bit less warm than I was hoping for, but maybe it'll be cool. I think it's gonna be quite cool actually when it's done. I see, Pool J. Yeah, cats sleep a lot, right? So that's kind of beneficial, I guess. It's a brownish orange. You don't love the shades? Trust in layering and highlights? Yeah. Well, we will definitely highlight a bunch of this back up. So we're gonna base coat it, color it back down with tones, with like a shade paint. Then we're gonna re-highlight some of, or re-layer, I guess, some of the flatter panels. And then we're gonna highlight all of the things. That's the build order plan. What's going on, Lena? Welcome. How are you doing? What's going on, Echo? You woke up? Time to watch some painting? How are you doing, mate? Have you started your Screamer Killer? Have you heard we're working the office today? We gotta go back to the office on Saturday, Echo. The Dillwyn Dawson stationary supply office, that is. You gotta work Saturdays. Yeah, you didn't realize it. You started the Screamer Killer? Oh, sick. What colors are you going for? You just had a delicious espresso chocolate with ice cream? Was it similar to the picture you posted on Discord the other day? Because I did see a picture of something like that. That looked pretty good. Hey, what's going on, Gregory? I think I'm gonna do all the pouches in this same color too. Actually, let's do the handle over here first. The handle of the blade. You're having one of those each morning? You start the morning with ice cream? Very nice. Mornfang brown for the carapace, Nugget night fleshy bits, and then Ushapti bones for the joints and the bones. Okay, so we're going full Zerg. I like it. I like it. I think the horse's skin looks pretty sweet. I don't know if it's obvious on stream. Yes, dude. That does look kind of cool, doesn't it? Same for the hooves. Quite happy with the current setup. How in the world am I gonna paint the bottom section over here without touching the hood? I guess I can recolor the hood if I accidentally hit it. Oh, let me have a quick little look at what you linked in the chat. Here's the speed painted test scheme on a Gaunt. Okay. So that's you're gonna do the same color scheme on the big boy? Nice, nice. A very Zergy look. With more care. Right. Yeah, no, that kind of looked like you just slapped on a bunch of paint, but that's okay. For a general overview, right? That's... Yeah, the skin is very purpley there. I'm trying to think what the actual... Like, I think the official Zerg scale is a little bit... You have 120 gaunts to paint? Oh, fuck. Okay, that's a lot of gaunts. Yeah. Yeah, I think if you shade that with a grayish wash or a brownish wash, it will look a lot more... It would look a lot less bright. But the Zerg units are actually quite bright. It's one of those things you kind of forget about. Warhammer is a more grim setting, I guess. The StarCraft units are a little bit brighter. Gonna do these pouches in this same color. Okay. There's a hole in this pouch. Why is there a hole? Is there supposed to be a hole? I always feel like I forgot plugging something in there. Is something supposed to... Hold up, let me open up the official box art. Most of the pictures of the miniature are taken from the other side. The sealed side. Why is there a hole on that pouch? Hold up, I'm gonna go to the official website for a second. I always feel like I forgot gluing in a part, but I don't think I have. It kind of looks like something should fit inside of that little circle. I gotta paint the sack? All right. Let me look at the official box art. No, it just has a hole in it. In the official box art too. All right. I think it's a hole just like the cloth on the horse. Yeah, that's what it is, I guess. But it kind of looks like one of those perfect little pin push fit thingamajigs that they use sometimes for building the minis. Maybe the gold is run out, you know? I don't know if you had any gold pieces in here, but with a hole in a pouch like that, it is a little inconvenient. Well, guys, what color do you guys think I should do for the court? Like, there's a lot of rope going around. I'm currently thinking about making it like an off black, like a dark gray. But I could also do a dark brown instead. I'm just wondering if it's too many browns. You think it should be black? Yeah, I have a color here that I like using for that sort of stuff called deep gray. But I'm wondering if I should maybe make it like a dark brown instead. Because it is rope, right? But rope is not usually black. Or gray. You only use Citadel? I used one Citadel color for this mini. For the base coat on the middle colored green. So this color green over here. The brighter green and then the very dark green for the armor is a different coat. This is Castellan green. Also, while applying those base coats, the most annoying paint to work with compared to the other greens. The other greens from another brand were a lot easier to coat with, but the Castellan green was kind of a pain in the dick. Nah, it was okay. It just required a couple coats. For some reason, I didn't want to cover very clearly. I have some Vallejo, yes, but not a lot. So when I went out to the store to get my airbrush, the lady in the store was like, yo, so would you like to pick out some paints as well? And she basically let me pick out about 30 euros worth of paints. We had like a nice conversation. She like showed me how to use the airbrush and like how to properly clean it and how to like maintain the compressor and everything. And she was like, yo, do you want to pick out some paints as well? I'll include 30 euro worth. I was like, oh, perfect. And the only brand they had for miniature painting was Vallejo. So I never really have used much of it yet, but I've always heard great things. The one that I've heard a lot about that people keep praising is the Vallejo metal colors. So I've got a color of those, which I heard is pretty sick. I haven't really used them very much yet though. I did also get a white at some point, because Corax white is supposed to be kind of shit. Yeah, it's Vallejo. Fair enough. Vallejo. Do I have to say everything in the... So this is always a question, right? This brand is called Vallejo, right? But do we say it? Do I speak... like, if I have to pronounce every word the way it's supposed to be pronounced in the original language, it does create a bit of a strange setup, no? Corax white and Ivo yellow? Ivo yellow? I don't know that one. But Corax white is, yeah. It's more gray than white. It's gray-ish. Or white-ish. Okay, so that'll be the little pouches over here. Anything else that needs to be painted in this color? We can obviously come back to it a bit later, but... Oh, there's another pouch over here. Like, can you say croissant? Or do you have to say croissant? Bonjour. Oh, we're going clubbing, Chet. Woo, woo. I will say though that for brand names it's a little different. I think Vallejo makes sense. Valley Joe? No, I hate everything about that, Siggy. Valley Joe. It is interesting, actually. Pronouncing certain words in their original language. Pronouncing certain brand names in their original language. Or just go with the English version on everything. I think about this quite a lot, actually. Especially in, like, say, for example, commentary. So obviously I cast a lot of StarCraft, right? But I noticed for, like, for example, the Dutch Formula 1 commentary, they don't pronounce Ricardo. They actually pronounce the I in his name. So they say Ricciardo. Which is probably more accurate than the original pronunciation. But nobody says his name is Ricardo in Dutch. It's always Ricciardo. At least that's what I mostly hear whenever I don't really watch with a lot of Dutch commentary, but which one do you go with? He himself seems to say Ricardo. Do you, yeah, how do you, what is the rule? I don't know. There is no rule, I guess. Nobody calls me Simon, right? Which would be how you pronounce my name, like my actual name in Dutch. People would call me Simon instead. But nobody, my mom doesn't call me Simon. She would go with the Dutch pronunciation. It's not that simple. I don't know. You can call me whatever the fuck. You have so many people pronounce your name with a long E. Lena? Like Lena? It's Lena, right? Oh, yeah, I see, I see. But Lena is also quite a, like, that would be a name in Dutch as well. Lena would also be possible in Dutch, so maybe that's a bit easier for me. Simon, Thort? Yeah, it's a Germanic name. No, there's an N at the end. There's an N at the end. Not French. Simon? No, not French. It's like the French one, except an N at the end, I guess. I think for contrast's sake, it's probably a good idea to use a different color for the ropes. We're gonna go with black ropes. Yep. Or gray. A dark gray. Sounds lame in Dutch. It does sound a little lame in Dutch. I am a little lame though, so it's okay. So many potential fuck-ups. So many little areas that I can accidentally make worse. Well, vowels are in general pronounced differently in every language, right? So like double E in English would be pronounced E, but the exact same lettering in Dutch would be A. So when I see somebody trying to, when somebody writes in the chat like a way that you're supposed to pronounce it, my brain always defaults to the Dutch pronunciation instead, which is a bit confusing for me. So when Lena says long E, I think A and not E. Does this conversation still make sense? How would Josh be in Dutch?